physicians, researchers, academicians within 200 miles of us right now. Brand names in this business. I don't see any of them. How far did you have to travel? Several thousand miles on your own ticket. Yes, ma'am. No, I don't, because we do not take any insurance in the pharmacy. I do not want to be a partner. And plus, our prices are below most 95% of the copay, so you just keep them out. On our Parkinson's patients, I have a very good friend whose wife was on a gazillion different Parkinson drugs. And she's now on 3 Sinemet a day. I mean, their drug costs were phenomenal, you know, sort of up there in the MS department, you know, thousands of dollars. There's a lady out in Seattle whose father's name is Barkley, who's doing a combination of different things, and his drug requirements decreased. I don't think you're going to ever get to the point with Parkinson's that you're going to decrease it where you're not going to have to take some drugs. But I'll tell you, if you go from taking, I think, 33, 34 individual dosage forms a day to 3, you know, you've died and gone to heaven. The first night I took LDN, I had a tremendous scary nightmare, okay? It scared the bejesus out of me. The next night I took it, I went home, I was a little cranky, you know, I went and laid down, read my book, fell asleep, and the book was on sailing, and I just had a wonderful night then, and have not had a problem since. Even when I skipped, when we were out in Los Angeles or San Francisco or wherever the heck we were, I forgot mine. I came down with a cold. You gotta look at that. I think it's on YouTube or someplace. I was dying, okay? I got home, I took the next one, no problems. I was, you know, no problem at all. Sure, absolutely. I am a Bahari guy, okay? I'm also, believe myself to be a phony scientist. Your endorphins are on a diurnal basis, okay, which means that not only are there 2 humps, one of the humps is bigger than the other hump, okay? And they're humps. Let's pretend that at midnight your beta endorphins are 0, okay? And let's pretend at 3 o'clock in the morning your beta endorphins are 15. Now, those aren't the right numbers, okay? That's one hump. Once they get to that top level, they start to go down again, okay? Then in midday, somewhere around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the same thing happens, but it's not as high, okay? It's a smaller hump. The reason you take it at bedtime, one of the reasons, I believe the physiological reason you take it at bedtime is you're going to get more bang for your buck with this one here. You're going to skew that level higher, okay? Now that's number 1. Number 2, back at the first one of these, there was a gentleman from Germany, and I believe his name was Moss. Don't quote me on that. He had the first MS LDN study out there. He found that his people were having nightmares, so he decided, well, what the heck? We'll give it to him in the morning time. And if you looked at that article, his patients went from getting better to nothing. Okay? So, that's reason number 2. But the caveat with the whole thing is if you don't sleep for a month, again, it's my opinion, it's better for you to sleep than any benefits that you're going to get from LDN. So, again, individual cases, I always recommend, you know, go at bedtime. Somebody said to me, and like I get a whole bunch of calls a week. Somebody said that if they ate before they took the LDN, for some reason they didn't have as many nightmares. It's sort of scary. What that suggests to me is that it's not absorbed as well, because if it had been, then you would have gotten that boost and you would have had the nightmares. And I always tell people it's not going to go away. You're just going to get used to it. You know, dreaming in Technicolor. Opioids, you can't. Not at all. No, none at all. Zero, zip, zilch. What happens is you're going to get a little pain relief, because remember, the blockade is only some of the receptor sites, so there's going to be others out there, okay, that the opioid can interact with, but you're going to get a whole lot of the side effects, okay? So you're not going to get much pain relief, and you're going to feel terrible. Now, tramadol is a semi-synthetic, but we've had a lot of experience with tramadol, using tramadol for heavy pain. You're not, get sick. It's not going to work as well. So, the big fear is always, well, what happens if I get into an accident? Well, you know what, if you get into an accident somewhere before 6 o'clock in the morning time, and you've taken your LDN, well, the opioids aren't going to work very well. But as that day goes on, you're going to get the release of the naltrexone from the receptor site, so more and more of it will work. So by the next night, you'll be fine. So don't take your naltrexone and go out and get drunk. Well, you shouldn't be drinking anyway. Although, two quick stories. Somebody asked me a question about that. 2 quick stories on that. Just before I went to Scotland for the international conference, I got a telephone call from a lady who was projectile vomiting on a glass of wine. Yeah, well, lady, I told you don't drink alcohol, okay? So then we go to Scotland, and I'm sure a lot of these guys, that Saturday night, I think it was, we were eating Chinese food and there was no projectile vomiting. I did move away from everybody, okay? I'll tell you that. But alcohol's a no-no. And I know that wasn't your question, but so did I answer your question? Yeah, those are fine. All you're looking at is opiates. So hydrocodone, Vicodin, Percodan, Vicodin, Percocet, blah, 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 morphine, all those types of things, they won't work as well. I promise you, and I am on tape, I promise you that if the FDA ever sticks their nose into this, I will create a plant. I'll build a plant in the Bahamas, which is 42 miles away from Florida, and I'll become a real pirate. Absolutely. I truly believe, folks, and some of you know my background, some of you don't. I was in research and development for a long time. I owned a company that did research and development. I've seen a lot of crap come down the pike. There is no drug more significant than this that has come down the pike in the 36 years that I've been a pharmacist. That's a long time. That's Zantac, Tylenol, or ibuprofen. It's a lot of drugs. This is a significant drug. And they've already done it. Anybody gone on Wikipedia and looked at the definition of low-dose naltrexone recently? I wouldn't take it. And you can't tell me that that person who wrote that in didn't have some training in writing drug literature. You just can't tell me that. Okay? Anybody can write in Wikipedia anything they want. So I think there's going to be problems there. And as time goes on, let me repeat, 83% of my patient population has not had an exacerbation or a progression in greater than 3 years. There is none of the crap drugs that's even close. And Tysabra will kill you. Okay? There are none of the crap drugs that are close. I mean, this is, some people have heard me say this 1,000 times, and I think on Mary's radio thing, she goes, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Okay? It's frustrating. Patients, the Crohn's patients, and the rheumatoid arthritis patients, I recommend going 4.5 right away. Okay? And it works. I'm here to testify it works on rheumatoid arthritis. See, I can do this thing, and I can't golf too much anymore, but I can move, and it's because of LDN, because I don't take anything else. You're still going to dream. You probably won't wake up, but you're still going to get those dreams. Enjoy them. Enjoy them. That's what I tell people. This can be fun.